Hi, welcome to NDE TV. I'm Peggy Robinson. Today's guest is John Coleman, and he just had his near-death experience last August, and he has not told it publicly before. Hi, John.
Hi.
Are you ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you start wherever you like.
Okay. In August, I got an infected epiglottis. The part of my esophagus swelled up and I couldn't swallow. Um, I uh, I was doing I play acoustic music and I got through a gig, 4 hours singing and everything and playing guitar, and I had a sore throat. And I went to patient first to find out. I thought it was a severe cold or something, and they told me it wasn't COVID. They didn't. They treated me for a cold, sent me home with some sore throat medicine that just numbed me and everything. And I think it was the next day after I played music for 4 hours and sang. I got through it fine, but I had a sore throat towards the end. The next day after that, I like the home style spaghetti, the home style chicken noodle soup. So I had some of that, and I actually choked on the little 1 inch spaghetti noodle.
Mm.
I couldn't get it down. And I choked, and that scared the crap out of me. So I told my wife, and she took me to the emergency room, and that's where it all started. That was an interesting ride there. She didn't go in with me because of the COVID situation. So I walked in, I walked myself in. And when I got there, uh, this young doctor told me to get on the hospital gurney bed. And I said, no, I'm not going. I don't need to. I can walk. I'll be just fine. And I guess it got into a little bit of an argument. I'm going to walk. I'm fine. He said, no, kept saying, no, get on it. So it didn't happen very long after that. He picked me up and body slammed me down on the gurney bed like a wrestler. And
What?
that made me angry the whole time that I was in. And then I ended up in ICU, tubulated. I didn't know how serious it was. Um, so I was in there. I was asleep for about 10 days. And they gave me a tracheostomy where they put a hole in my throat and put that thing in there. And I was asleep for 10 days while I was in there. And I think the whole time I was in there, I had a hard time. I was angry. I had a hard time forgiving the doctor who slammed me down, and I was pretty mad at everything. So I wasn't treating people very well till I had my NDE. That
An
kind of changed things a little bit
NDE
there.
changes everything, huh?
Oh yeah. Anyway, what happened was one night I think it was at the end. That's when I woke up, is what I'm thinking, because I don't remember the exact timeline, but I know I was asleep for 10 days, intubated and everything. and and there was one night I was in a room where they were closely watching all the people there, I guess severe or whatever, because they were watching them in a room um like 24 hours, and this was at night. And I somehow floated up out of my body, and I remember flying around, and then I remember flying on the back of like I don't know if it was an ambulance or a laundry truck or something like that. I thought it might have been an ambulance, but I was riding on the back of it. And then I flew up into the sky and I was flying around up in the sky. Um, and I looked down and I saw the city of Baltimore and Towson where I was, and I saw the lights underneath. And I was at total peace. I didn't have any fear when this happened. And it was like it was a fun time, and I'm like, wow, I don't know what's really going on here, but this is what I'm doing. I didn't think about the fact that I might have died or whatever, but it was actually just like the scene on the Big Lebowski where the dude falls asleep on the floor listening to his Walkman, and he flies up and he's riding his magic carpet and he sees all the lights down below. It was exactly the same as that, but there was no carpet. I was just flying.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so then after that, I somehow flew back into the hospital, and I flew into the room where I was, and I looked through the glass and I saw my gurney bed there. And I don't remember if I saw me laying there or I didn't see it, but either way, when I was looking through the glass at all the beds in there, I looked up and I saw on the TV screen there was like a waterfall show, like a waterfall program, I guess for peace, and it had like peaceful music going on. And like I was checking that out, and now I was looking in, something said to me, do you want to go now or do you want to go back? And I'm like, whoa. Then it hit me how serious it was. And I was like, and I actually pondered for a minute because the way I was being treated in there and the way things were going, I wasn't treating them well, and it wasn't going well back and forth. So I pondered for a minute and I actually thought about leaving, and then I thought about, wait a minute, I have my children here, my wife. And the main thing that came over me is, if I go now, number one, it's darkness around me. I don't know, and I haven't been living right. I don't know where I'm going exactly. So I didn't feel like, I felt peace and I didn't have any fear, but I didn't feel that love that a lot of other people that have NDEs feel. I didn't have that. And I didn't go any further than flying around and come back. And like I say, I was asked, did I want to go now or go back? So, I was thinking, if I go now, the main thing that, besides my family, if I go now, I don't have anything to bring because I wasn't living right. I feel like my life might have been worthless up until now because I wasn't living very good. I was partying a lot. I had a lot of anger issues. I'm having temper tantrums with a lot of things that I've held on to for so long. But yeah, the NDE healed a lot of that. Actually, let me back up a minute. I said, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do the best I can. Let those doctors and nurses do whatever they got to do to get me out of here, because I want to get out of here and I want to go home. I want to go back to my family. I want to go back to work because I like to work. My work is hard. I work hard, but I like my work. I'm kind of getting tired of it, and I want to eventually just play music and work not as hard, but I'm only 57. I think I might have a ways to go. I think also being in ICU, it took a while, still taking a while to get my full strength back. Plus I did have COVID, so that kind of knocked me out a bit with my energy, and I get fatigue and all that stuff, but it's getting better every day, actually. So yeah.
So you had COVID
Before
and
all
a
that happened,
and a lung infection.
yeah. Yeah, it was an infection in the throat where you swallow, there's a little flap, and that swelled up. And the doctor said I should have died. That a lot of people don't make it through that because he said it's common for children to have that, but it's rare in adults. And mine was pretty severe. But as you know, and a lot of other people who have NDEs get a pretty substantial healing. So they were
Yes.
surprised after that how I was getting up and walking around, and I was, recovering very fast. So they were telling me, if you can walk around the ward, we'll talk about getting you out of here. And it didn't take me. They wanted to keep me longer, but I was determined, and I did everything right, as far as the swallowing test and walking and everything. So they got me out. So that worked out, and I got home. But the recovery after that, to get back to normal, it took a while. But I guess that's normal for people who, are that close to death and die or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Any idea how you got that infection?
Yes, I do. um, they said it was from alcohol withdrawal, but that's not really possible. Um, I was drinking a good bit, but I wasn't really drinking that much. Where the one day that I only drank 4 beers to my 7 to 13 or 14 beers, that wouldn't have made that much a difference. I think it was because I was smoking way too much marijuana through a glass pipe and it was dirty and I never cleaned it out. I think I burnt my throat. I think that's what happened.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I've heard doctors talk about the epiglottitis and how it happens. I never did any like real hard drugs. It was always just weed. I mean,
Mhm.
don't say just weed because people think just weed is just weed. And if you abuse it too much and too often, it's really not just weed. It
Yeah.
can do some damage. I did have CHS, mildly case of CHS. A lot of people don't realize CHS can actually kill you.
What is
It's
that? CHS.
cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome.
Oh.
It's where you smoke too much and it messes up your stomach and you puke in the mornings. And a lot of people have to take hot showers to get back to normal. Mine was mild, where sometimes I would get sick in the morning, and but I learned to control it. But man, here's another thing. Like I say, I had a lot of anger issues before that, and the NDE, the what happened to me really healed a lot of that. When I came back the next day, let me back up. I'm sorry, because this is something that's important. When I got back into my gurney bed and actually walked through the door, I remember that, and I crawled up into the bed, and then I came to, and when I did, I looked up on the screen, and that waterfall picture was playing, and I laid awake and watched it the whole night. So that was confirmation that it was not just a dream; it was real. Because when I saw everything from outside the glass after flying around, I looked up and I saw that waterfall scene show, and I somehow actually heard the music from it. I don't know how that happened. It just did, and it was pretty profound when that
I wonder if
happened.
it was set on one of
But
those relaxing channels.
it was. That's what it was. Yeah,
Okay.
I can't find it on any of my networks. I don't know where to look, but it was definitely in the hospital and necessary for a hospital type thing. Yeah.
I never thought about ghosts watching TV before, but I bet they do.
Huh?
I never thought about ghosts
What's that?
watching TV before, but I bet they do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I never thought about that either.
So how does
Yeah.
it feel knowing that? I mean, I call it that. Maybe you wouldn't. Like when I drowned when I was little, and I was running around like you, flying around. I was a ghost kid. Do you feel like you were a ghost?
Yeah. Actually, I kind of did. I didn't think about it like that. Uh, After the fact, I thought I was like the dude on Big Lebowski. I shouldn't joke like that, really, but I
That's all
love that
right.
movie. And well, yeah. After that, I was real nice to the nurses, and I thought about a lot of things. And yeah, I'm a devout Christian, and I wasn't living right, so I didn't know where I was going, and I started praying a lot more. I read the Bible every morning before I get up, and it hasn't been one morning that went by since I got out of the hospital. I didn't read the Bible and pray in the morning before I get on social media or anything. And that has really changed my life significantly. I got more peace. Um, there's still times that aren't good. That's normal. I, I was very depressed before all this happened. And when I came back from it, my depression was totally healed, totally gone. I had no more depression. And I've had
Awesome.
a couple times, recently in the last 2 months or whatever, that I got a little low, but I think that was circumstantial. I didn't get the right gigs and I got canceled and stuff like that. But these are normal things that happen in life. It's not a
Right.
big deal. And I also got another one that opened up, so even a better one. So that all those things that happened. I've had some really profound dreams since then that were really good ones, not bad ones, but good ones. And yeah, actually, I would like to share this one
Okay.
because I thought it had something to do with some things. It was something that was kind of getting to me, but it was similar to the movie on the shack, where he's walking through the woods, and then it gets real colorful, and then he comes to a house and all that, and it's kind of like that. I'm walking through this gardeny, colorful, flowerful looking, beautiful looking woods, and I come to this house that looks like like a garden center, but out in the woods type, and it looks like they were selling stuff. And downstairs, they were selling all this like a garden center type stuff, flower arrangements and everything. And everything was real pretty and rustic looking, an old cabin looking place, but it looked like a little garden center store. And then somebody said, "Oh, you need to go upstairs." So I said, "What's upstairs?" "Oh, just go upstairs. You'll see." So I go upstairs, and there's like this there's like this cafe place with people drinking these fruity looking drinks, and outside, and it was like an upper level to a different, I don't know, a different garden, and there was a patio deck, and somebody was playing music there I couldn't hear. And so I pulled up a stool and was just sitting there, and I was looking at everything, and like there was like a deck, and it backed up to another wooded area with was just flowers and pretty stuff everywhere. And somebody comes up to me and said, "You're John Darrin Coleman music, aren't you?" Because that's my music page. That's what I call my music gig thing. And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, well, you'll be playing here soon." I said, "Okay, that's great." And then something came over. I said to myself, "You know what? I was here a year ago." I was like, "Well, so I don't know how that happened, but it was one of those weird dreams." And like, it was pretty profound. And that was happening when I was kind of at a low point, because something had happened with a certain gig that I wanted. And I'm trying to get going with playing music a lot, and it's going pretty well actually. But yeah. Um, Also, since the NDE that happened to me, I'm working on forgiving everybody that I need to forgive. So that's been a step-by-step process. So I think about the model prayer, "Our Father who art in heaven, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." I think that's pretty important. But it's not as easy as it seems. It's not always easy, but it's possible. And when you think about all the goodness, you know, I think lately it's getting easier. So yeah.
What do you think caused the change? Is it knowing that you were able to come back, or just being on the other side and now you're back? I mean, what do you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of it is because when it happened, I felt like I didn't have anything to bring, that I have the rest of my life, however long it is. I don't know how long it is, but I want to do enough good. And I know it's not about what we do that's good as far as that goes, but I want to have some things that I can be accounted for that would be good, as opposed to all the bad I've done and all the negative thoughts and all the hate and all the fighting and the anger and all that stuff. It's not necessary. Um, yeah.
Did it make you think about like how you're going to be
uh,
remembered?
exactly that too. How I remembered. Also, um, I know you've been talking a lot about the New Agers and the Christians that have NDEs. Um, I've seen a lot of both sides growing up. I don't know if I'd want to get into all that. I've seen a lot of bad stuff growing. I don't know. We're probably going to talk about that, but I know that and I've heard about people who have had NDEs that have actually gone to the wrong place, and they come back and they talk about that. And there's a lot of people that come back, which I don't quite understand, but I'm trying to learn to understand people that go this and they don't have no belief or faith in God. A lot of them come back and they learn to know about God and Jesus and all that. But then a lot of them that do come back and are into the new age stuff, I don't quite understand that. I'm trying to understand that. And I'm not like some people who would put those people off. I'm still open to hear their side, and I'm not going to shun them or anything like that just because they believe in something different that way. So I don't think that's helping anything. It's just like, you were talking about with the lady that does the singing. I watched that one yesterday, but yeah,
Yeah, I don't
I think all that
understand.
stuff's important.
Yeah,
Peace
I'm sorry.
with people.
What was that
I
last
think
part?
it's important to have peace with different people. Not argue. That's not going to get anywhere.
Right.
It's not going to help anything.
Yeah. I don't entirely understand it either. Any kind of conclusion I'm coming to lately is that they call what they experienced one thing and Christians call it another. Like, but we're all talking about the same thing. I say, okay, you heard a voice over there and it told you this and this, and then you come back and you are like teaching people, like what you learned. But who was that? Who was that voice? Like
Yeah.
they don't seem to me like they put a lot of time and effort into what was that voice, what was that realm, what was the reason I come back or healed, or that Christians do. We assign a lot of meaning to that voice and that place, and we assign the names of God, Jesus, angels, and things. And then I listen to them, and I'm not hearing the significance given to that we give it. They're giving it more of, therefore they think they are God, therefore they think they can manifest, therefore they have psychic powers. It seems like it's more, I want to say narcissistic. It's more about them than him. It's kind of my take on it at
Yeah.
this moment.
Yeah. I can understand that. Yeah. It's like, we hope that they'll, come to, and then I think about the other part of it. I hear a lot of them talk about the silver cord that is spoken about in Scripture. I still believe in Scripture. I mean, I totally believe in Scripture. A lot of them, a lot of people who have the NDEs, and I don't want to label anybody, and but anyway, a lot of them, they talk about the silver cord, but don't realize that once that silver cord's loose, that's the time where we can't come back. We're there, and then, I mean, I don't know. Like I say, I've listened to some who have had the negative NDEs, who have went to a place of torment and actually was able to come back from it. They're the ones
Right.
who usually turn Christian right away.
Right. And then I asked the New Agers about that. I said, well, what about those? Because you're talking about
Yeah.
reincarnation and there's no judgment. Well, what do you say to the ones that say they went to hell?
Yeah.
Crickets.
Now
They don't know.
I'm not going to say that I believe in reincarnation, but I've heard that the early Christians actually believed in reincarnation. I haven't looked into that or studied it yet. But what if, as a lot of us who have had NDEs, found out things that we didn't think we were going to find out? We thought that once you die, it's just like the scripture says, absent from the body, present with the Lord. Well, I didn't even enter into the place of going through the tunnel and feeling the love. I felt peace, but I didn't feel that love. I kind of wish I did, but I know by faith it's going to happen. It's going to happen when it happens. I like to say that before I might have been a substance abuser, but now I'm a substance abuser because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
So have you
Anyway.
cut back or stopped the substance abuse? How's that going?
Oh, I haven't. Oh no, I'm joking about that. I'm talking about being faith is the substance.
Okay.
Um, no, I don't smoke anyway. I haven't picked up weed since I went to the hospital, and I don't plan on it, even if it becomes legal. Even
What
if I
about
go
the,
to Colorado, I
how's the
would love to go to
drinking
the Red
going?
Rock. Drinking, I don't really have a problem with. I can drink 1 or 2 beers and stop, and I associate with friends. I'm kind of wondering if God wants me to stop, and I'm kind of weighing that out. And if
But you're
that
not doing
happens,
the
then I have
10 or
to.
15 or whatever you said,
Oh
like you were.
no, I drink like 1 or 2 or 3, and that's it. Because I'm not trying to take a chance on drinking and driving. I don't drink heavy alcohol beers. So no. And I don't drink every day. And I don't drink if I'm upset. I don't drink if I'm mad. I only if I'm in a good mood and if I worked hard or whatever, I'll have a beer or two. But I think I'm okay with that.
So you
If
saw a
I'm
lot
and
of
I am.
darkness. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was all dark. Yeah, it was all darkness. I mean, it
Other,
was it was like the middle of the night. It was the middle of the night when it happened. But when I came back into the hospital, even where the doctors and nurses were sitting is where I kind of flew into, and I was looking at this through the glass screen. Um, I saw their whole station, like the lights out, and them just sitting in the dark. So that concerned me because I know and knew that doctors and nurses don't sit in the dark in the middle of the night, no matter what. I know that the lights are on all the time. So that concerned me. And like I say, when I heard, do you want to go now or do you want to go back? It frightened me a little bit. I didn't feel fear, but it was like alertness in my mind or whatever that if I go now, I'm not sure where I'm going. Um, I was raised Baptist, I would say. My mother's side was Pentecostal. A lot of the churches that I went to were Pentecostal. I was raised on my father's side Baptist, so there's that security of salvation thing. But just from what I read in scripture, I don't really believe that. I believe it says if you continue in, and I wasn't continuing in the faith at the time. I was doing what I wanted to do all the time, and I was isolating. I was still working and paying bills, but I wasn't being there for my family, and that bothered me too. That bothered me a lot. And since then, I got to take my this is good, but I can get choked up. I took my boy deer hunting. He got his first deer. So yeah, that made up for a good bit.
well, I'm glad you got this second chance. I'm
Um,
glad you're here with us.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad of all this
What did
and
you
the
think about
fact
that
that
dream saying you'll be playing with us soon, playing music with them soon? What did you make of that?
oh, that's another thing. We learn so much by listening to everybody else's NDEs, and it's great, and I love it. It's like a club. And you do this. I think it's great what you're doing, but the thing where you hear that time is different in heaven, and I know that it is. It's obvious. There's eternity in heaven, and time there, and time here. And I've been saying to myself, okay, if things get hard, just tell myself it's only going to be a minute. Because compared to eternity and the time that we have here, it's going to be so fast. It's only going to be like a minute, literally.
That's true.
So when that happened, yeah, when that happened, it was like I was thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't worry about where I get gigs and just do music the best I can. They'll come. And knowing that I will be playing music there one day and it'll be awesome. I believed and I still believe that that's going to happen one day. That's where I'm going.
Maybe you'll get to play with Freddie
Yeah.
Mercury.
Nah.
You're not a Freddie Mercury fan?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, he was a great singer, but more like Randy Rhoads or Jimi Hendrix.
Okay.
Who else? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be
I tell
great.
you who I'd like to see as far as a musician would be Keith Green. You know,
Really?
I think he died because he was. I think he died because he was living such a sanctified life. That's what I think. I think he got taken home. I think some people get taken home early because they've reached a level of sanctification that the Lord wants them up there and not here.
Only the good
That's
die
been my
young?
theory about Keith. Yeah, exactly. That's been my theory about why Keith Green had his plane crash. And I like his music. It'd be cool to hear him up there.
So, what do you think? Like, do you go back, like where you were over, like you don't know if it was a truck, if it was ambulance, but that place where that happened at, do you ever like drive by there and think, I was just flying through here and this is weird feeling?
Oh yeah, I don't drive by there, but I know that area, and that's another thing. Nothing has changed on the landscape. Never will. It's like the backside of GBMC Hospital, and then on the other side of that, there's a like a psychiatric hospital, and and it's like the outback and everything. And that's where I was riding around in the back of the truck, and then I took off from the truck and flew up into the sky. And like, wow, that was so much fun. It was fun.
Was that all dark?
It was dark outside. It was the middle of the night.
Okay.
And when I was up there flying around the sky, I looked down and I saw the lights in the city, like everything was real small, just like being in an airplane. But I wasn't in an airplane. I was the airplane.
Did you get as high as the
But yeah.
stars?
No, I didn't get as high as the stars. I would say I might have been a little bit below the clouds, almost
Okay.
to the clouds. But it was high enough to where everything I saw below was the lights were small and everything, but I saw the lights below me from everything being lit up, like the city and everything.
Besides that, and besides looking in through the window at the staff, do you remember anything else you saw?
No, I don't. I remember walking through the door and not opening it up to get to back to my bed. I remember that, and it was just like a ghost walking through a door. It's just walking through the door. It was pretty profound.
Do you
Yeah.
remember what you were thinking? Like, what in the world? Or was you just like comfortable with it?
I wasn't thinking from the time that I was outside the glass and having the conversation with either God or the angel, whatever, whoever. And it's another thing. I look back and I think maybe I should have asked some questions because I hear other people who carry conversations and ask questions. The questions got answered. If I would have said, well, if I go, where you mean, where am I going? I was afraid to ask that question because I was afraid that I would have been taken away like shoot like that or something. That concerned me. I had that thought that if I were to ask that question, it might have been the wrong thing to ask. So I just went you know, with just saying what I said. And then from there, when I walked back into it was just, I guess I was taken because I walked and then I walked back and got back into my body. And then I came to because I didn't want to, I was afraid to lay there asleep. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I laid up and I watched that show all night long until the sun came up.
When you came to, did you have full memory of all this or did you push it away?
Yes, I did. I did. I had remember like, wow, that was awesome. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why that happened, but I know that it happened. And wow. Oh, another thing. See this, yeah, the memory comes back a little bit here and there. The whole time that I was in the hospital, when I was in there, something was saying to my spirit, and I could hear it. It was something was saying, this is all happening for a reason and everything's going to be all right. And somehow even some nurse came into my room and actually said that. this is all happening for a reason, and everything's going to be all right.
But you heard that on the
So
other side first?
yeah, I heard like no, not while I was out and
Okay.
flying around or anything. This while I was laying in my
Oh,
hospital
okay.
bed. I
Huh.
think it was after I came back, and I remember hearing that, and it's something that was like into my conscious that this is all for a reason and everything's going to be all right. And I heard it like a couple times, and then when the nurse said it, I'm like, okay, that's confirmation right there. It's true. It's all happening for a reason, and everything's going to be all right. I think it was, a lot of things in my life that needed to be worked out, and so it really was a second chance. Literally was a second chance.
Do you remember the first person you told about this?
I think I might have said something to a nurse. I might have said something to my wife, but I said, I died. And they said that I didn't die, that they were watching me on the monitor and nothing happened. But I disagree with them. Either I died or I did, either way, I flew out of my body and came back, and that absolutely happened. Because like I say, I saw that show from the outside, and when I came to, I watched it for the rest of the evening, and I'm like, wow.
And the doctor
So
told you you
yeah,
should have died.
yeah. The doctor told me several times that it was pretty much a miracle that I got through all of that. Yeah,
What does your wife think
yeah.
about all this?
I'm not sure. I think she believes me. I think maybe she doesn't believe me. I think she's not too sure. But that's okay. You know, she knows I'm a pretty spiritual person, so uh, very much so. So I think she probably believes me more than not.
Had you heard
So
of near-death experience before this?
oh, that's another thing, and that's really cool. No, I just spoke into my phone, Google. I just died and came back, and then it came up NDE. I'm like, well, what's the
That's
NDE?
awesome.
Near death experience. And then the first one I saw was Rabbi Alan Anava, and that was a really good story. And he's got a show too. I don't watch it a whole lot, but I liked his first story. And then I found out about IANs, and I didn't have any idea that so many other people go through this and has gone through this, and that it's happened for years. I mean, I might have heard about it here and there, but I never heard about it the way we hear about it through all the NDEs and through your program and IANs. And I really like my IANs group. I don't care if a lot of them are new age. That doesn't bother me. I like talking to them.
I'm glad
I
you
think
like
we
it.
can learn a lot. We can learn a lot from each other. So I'm totally not against those people.
Yeah, I'm glad you have that.
I can't change their minds, and they can't change mine. But I don't have to be at odds with them over that, and I don't want to be.
And they don't
I
try
try to
to, do
look at it like,
they? They don't argue with your
yeah, no,
Christian views? That's good.
no, everything's good.
That's
Yeah, it's a
awesome.
good thing.
I love that.
So
I hope
I
I hear
hope it
more of
can
that.
stay that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I know a lot of Christians you know, don't think that we should interact, but I don't believe that. That's not what Jesus did. That's not the right thing to do. You can't make friends that way. I like making friends.
Yeah. I mean, there's prejudice on both sides. So I
Yeah.
get prejudice
Yeah.
from New Age. I get prejudice from Christians. So I keep saying Joker's
Yeah.
on the left of me. What is it?
Clowns to the left of me, jokers to
Yeah,
the
there
right.
you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Here I am stuck in the middle with you.
That's right. Trying to think what else. Yeah. And then after that, I was nice to the nurses and everything, and as much as I could. I had problem with one doctor that seemed so cold, and she still abused me. She stuck the scope down my throat with, not trying to be gentle. She did it, and it was like she did it on purpose. She didn't like me. I didn't like her, but I had to forgive her too, and I did. I'm learning how to do that, and that's the main thing. I
Have
think
you
that's the most important thing.
have you heard Ian McCormick's story? He's got a
I don't think so.
movie about Perfect Wave is the name of the movie that's out. I watch it on Pureflex, but he's on my. You might find him. He's on. I interviewed him before. Ian McCormick. It made me think of him
Ian
when you
McCormick.
said Ian, IAN, Ian McCormick. He's from
Okay.
Australia. He had to forgive. He was told to forgive when he was in the middle of his near-death experience, to forgive the
Was that the
people.
was that the guy that was?
The
No,
invisible
that
was
was the guy
bit.
was from England. The guy with the blonde hair and played
Yeah.
guitar and stuff.
He
Is
had
that the
blonde hair.
one?
He was a surfer.
Okay,
And
it's a different one.
okay, he was bit by something they call invisible when he was surfing at night. And I guess one sting will kill you. And I think he was stung 5 times. And he woke up in the morgue with a tag on his toe.
Oh,
And but
wow.
before he came back, and he wasn't Christian at all. And his mom was, and but so he wanted to come back because he knew his mom would think that he didn't go to heaven, and he did. And he didn't want his mom to
Wow.
think that he didn't go to heaven, so he decided he wanted to come back. But he was told during his NDE to forgive these people and these people, and because there's people that wouldn't help him. They thought he was a drug addict and wouldn't help him try to get
Oh,
to the hospital. And he was really upset with them. They
I'm
was
gonna check
laughing at
that
him and
out.
stuff, and he was in horrible pain. And he just
Wow.
wanted to hit him, and he couldn't. And he was told to forgive him. It made me think of that when you said that. Trying to learn to forgive.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, at first I thought you were talking about the guy from England. He said he was a seer and a helper and healer, not a helper. But yeah, I remember hearing that one. Uh, Kind of looked like a rock star. He said he played guitar. I thought that one was pretty
Oh,
cool. But anyway,
Raymond.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Raymond's
Those,
awesome too. I love them both,
yeah,
Ian and Raymond. But yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Raymond's so
What's
fascinating, isn't he? It's
definitely
fascinating.
fascinating. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. His
yeah. I'll
health
have to
isn't
check out
good
that
either,
Ian McCall.
huh?
His health is not good now.
No, he's got to go in and have another surgery on his heart, and he's
Oh, okay.
DNR. He says I don't want to come back, but he'll have the surgery, but something goes wrong, he don't want to come back. So
Yeah. Wow.
but like you said,
All right.
um, eternity's a long time. So I don't think we should get
It
in a
is a long
hurry.
time. Yeah. I'm not in a hurry. I'm going to try to start getting healthier so I can do more and live longer. I don't know how long I got. None of us do. I just, trying to find maybe even a possible career change, but I'll still stick to music because I know I'm supposed to do that. But I do tree work and I'm getting kind of sore and beat up from it.
Oh yeah, that's
So,
hard work.
but I like it. I'm going to do it for now until I figure out whatever.
Well, I pray you get
But
some good
yeah,
gigs so you can just play your music and enjoy yourself.
that's what I want to do. That's what I'm working on. Learn more music and more what I can do, the better. You know, music is a good thing. It really helps people along and it heals people. I believe it heals people's souls, even if it's just for a minute. I mean, it helps people along,
It does.
and I like it. When I can go and play some music and somebody feels better from it. One way or another, if we're just happy, if they reminisce from it, you know, um, I don't play any real heavy music that would make anybody angry. Or if I play too loud, they might get a little angry. I've been told to turn down in a restaurant before, but that's okay.
Well, I envy you with that. I would love to be able to have that talent. I have no talent. I've got my grandkids piano, um, drums, guitar, karaoke machines, all kinds of headset. Tried to encourage the music, but they're into sports right now. So
Yeah. Well, like I say, my NDE was not as in depth as a lot of other people. Most other people went a lot further. I think mine was just to show me a lesson, to let me know that things aren't as bad as I thought they were, and kind of like something to latch onto to get from here to there.
I think we're all
And to
given
make you
exactly what
change.
we need.
That's another thing, I hear that a lot, that in the NDEs we're given exactly what we need for us. And yeah, it really gives me something to latch on to. And I'm really grateful for it. I didn't know how I was going to recover from it. I thought I was going to lose everything because I had to take a whole month off, and I wasn't doing good at the moment, but things really did turn around. I'm actually doing pretty okay.
Good. Glad to
Work's
hear it.
coming in. I'm selling plenty of work, and music's happening, and I've never really been happy, but I'm kind of happy now. Life is good. Getting along with my family, everything's good.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
And it's been consistent. It's been consistent before. Things were never consistent. And so, yeah, things are good.
Awesome.
Like I say, it wasn't as in depth as a lot of other people's were. And I enjoy hearing other people's. That sometimes I might watch the NDEs on YouTube channel or on Facebook or whatever through IANs than watching anything else that I have on the Fire Stick, all the other channels. Doesn't it really encourage me? Yeah, it's nice.
And the ones that have the really in depth, that's great to listen to, but
Yeah,
oftentimes those kind of people I'll ask, about the changes in their life afterwards, and I'm not hearing a whole lot. Where yours dramatically changed your life.
yeah,
So I guess it's
yeah,
what you do with it too is the most important thing.
yeah, yeah.
As I
Yeah, I
always
think
say, huh?
mine was a wake up call, literally.
Yeah, I always say they NDEs remind me of Christmas presents, and God gives us the exact gift designed just for us and what we need, what He knows we need to use it for. Like you get your different kids different things because this one's involved in this one's interested in that, and it'll help their growth. But it seems like when it comes to NDEs, with God's infinite wisdom, we're given something we couldn't even imagine that we needed, and how it's going to play
Yeah,
out in our life for years to come. This is
yeah,
my
definitely.
thinking.
Yeah,
Well, it's been so nice. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
not really. I'm sitting here trying to think.
Okay.
I think I pretty much covered things. Yeah, I have a lot more peace. I don't, get mad going down the road like I used to. I had a big problem with road rage and getting angry. A lot of things that just didn't work out. I used to be impatient. Oh, get out of my way. I got a job to do. I'm on a mission kind of attitude. And things have really changed. It's not just an NDE, but it's, I attribute a lot of it to spending time in scripture and prayer. I have a church, but I don't really go to church that much. I would like to go to a church, but I don't know where to go. Um, the church that I do go to is kind of far, but I've been friends with that pastor and the family there for quite a few years, and he married me and my wife and everything. Um, but it's kind of far. And as far as maybe going to a church and trying to help there, eventually I would like to, but I actually don't know how to find one. And they're all over. That's what I don't understand.
How would you like to help?
Uh, either a homeless ministry or an elderly ministry, or well, of course, music. But you know,
Maybe
I'd
you could
like to
play
help with
in nursing
something.
homes.
Something. Yeah, yeah, I'd thought about that. I thought about that and learn some old people's music. I got a friend who's a chaplain, and he does that. He lives up in New York, and he does that. And he's mentioned it to me a few times.
To
So
play your music in a
I
nursing
need to
home?
learn.
Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
I need to learn some old music, some stuff, and you know, I've been working on the Everly Brothers song, but maybe some Elvis and some older stuff, and of course some hymns. I love hymns.
Yeah.
I don't like the new praise and worship stuff. I like old hymns. I guess I'm old fashioned, but I mean, I know a lot of it, and I've played a lot of it. I've been a worship leader in church, but um, I might go back to that one day. And I've
Well,
been working on a gospel recording for years, and I'd like to finish that. So I'll see where that goes. Maybe that'll go somewhere. I mean, it'll help because it's a sort of inherited a song that my great great grandmother written, and somehow the founder of country music, his name is Ernest Stoneman or Stonehill or Stoneman. He recorded it in the early 1900s, and I recorded it in the studio, and all I have to do is put one more track down and it's finished. So I'd like to go back and finish that. It's a really good song. It's called No More Goodbyes. And it's about, it's about what heaven's like, and that there's going to be no more goodbyes when we get there. It's almost like, the song, the hymn that says we'll meet on that beautiful shore. The same type of song.
would you like to
But
sing something
yeah, yeah.
or play something?
Not right now. I don't have my guitar.
Well, if you
But
decide you do, I'd be happy to have you come on.
that's okay. I could probably think about doing that another time, though.
Okay. Well, anytime you want to do that, let me know.
All right. Well, yeah. I would like to find a place that I can help out as far as that. Maybe I will eventually. I'm sure I will. That
Good.
our steps are ordered, and each day's a new day. So who knows what's going to happen the next day or the next day after that.
Well,
That's how things seem to happen.
well, I hope you come back on again sometime and update us what you're doing. I'd love to know.
Well, that'd be great. I appreciate that. I would like to do that.
Yeah.
Give us some time, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and say, hey, remember that? And look what we got now. It's going great.
That'd be cool.
So yeah, that's a good possibility.
Okay. Well, best of luck to you.
Okay, well, I appreciate you letting me share my story here, and yeah, I hope people like it.
I appreciate you
Enjoy it.
coming on and sharing it with me and with everyone. I appreciate you
Okay.
doing that.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.